Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our weekly press briefing, where we aim to provide journalists with an update on the latest developments at the court and the opportunity to ask questions. In the Thaci et al. Case, the pretrial judge has scheduled the next status conference for 4th November 2022 at 1:30 in the afternoon. In his scheduling order, the pretrial judge announced that during the status conference, he will ask the defense and the prosecution to indicate if they foresee any difficulties in transferring the case to a trial panel by the end of the year. He will further ask for updates from the prosecution concerning the disclosure process and if they foresee any difficulties in providing a list of the first 40 witnesses they intend to call during the trial by 18th of November. In addition, the pretrial judge announced that he will expect an update from the defense on the status of their investigations. Concerning potential objections by the defense to any of the evidence disclosed, the judge asked if they foresee any difficulties in filing the relevant notices by 18th of November. In the same case, the registry on 14th of October filed their 8th report on victims' participation. In the report, the Victims' Participation Office recommends that 39 out of 45 applicants be admitted as participating victims to the proceedings. In the view of the Victims' Participation Office, the alleged crimes that these applicants indicated they have suffered from correspond to the places and times mentioned in the indictment. The victims are both Albanian and/or Serbian speaking and reside in different countries. The Victims' Participation Office assessed that the victims all suffered from similar alleged crimes allegedly committed by the same perpetrators. Therefore, the Victims' Participation Office recommended that the additional 39 victims join the already existing group of 32 participating victims in this case and be represented by the same Victims' Council. The Victims' Participation Office further found that, similar to the existing group of participating victims, all 39 applicants should be considered particularly vulnerable as they all continue to suffer from trauma and express fear and concern for their safety or that of their family should their identity become known. Therefore, the Victims' Participation Office recommends that their identities be kept confidential. The pretrial judge will decide on the applications of the victims as well as on the recommendations to keep their identities confidential. Having in mind media reporting about the KSC during the last week, we would like to clarify that Mr. Thaci, Mr. Veseli, Mr. Salimi, and Mr. Krasniqi were arrested in November 2020 based on an indictment that was confirmed by a pretrial judge prior to their arrest based on arrest warrants issued in their names. In the case of Piotr Shala, the trial panel held trial preparation conferences on 18th, 19th, and 20th October. During the conferences, the trial panel heard from the parties and Victims' Council on issues including lists of witnesses and evidence, victims who are also witnesses, reparation proceedings, and the handling of confidential information. The prosecution, defense, and Victims' Council were invited to provide their views on these issues in writing. The trial panel indicated that it will soon decide on issues related to victims' participation, the conduct of proceedings, and will set the date for the commencement of trial proceedings. In other news, the Kosovo Specialist Chambers this week hosted non-governmental organizations from Kosovo and Serbia for a 2-day workshop on the KSC outreach program. The focus of the workshop was to discuss perceptions of the KSC and to receive feedback and recommendations on how the court can reach as many people as possible with accurate information that answers the questions Kosovo citizens in particular may have about the current stage of proceedings. President Ekaterina Trendafilova and Registrar Fidelma Donlan welcomed the participants and spoke about the significance the court places on finding new ways to bringing justice closer to the people. Thank you very much. That was all from me. I'm happy to answer questions should there be any.